What if I told you that the family you think is holding you back is actually the one God specifically chose for you to grow? It's not a mistake that you were born into your family. No matter how difficult, dramatic, or frustrating it may seem, God doesn't just place us in easy situations. He places us where we'll face challenges that build the strength and character we need for something bigger. If your family is hard, that might be the very reason you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Stick around, and I'll show you why. We all have that one family member who can push our buttons. The constant drama that never seems to end, or the moments when we feel like we're stuck in a never-ending cycle of frustration. And let's be honest, sometimes we wonder, why me? Why does my family have to be so complicated, so tough? Well, today, I want to share with you something that might completely change how you view these struggles. What if the family you were born into isn't a random accident or a curse, but instead, part of a divine plan? That's right. God might have chosen your family specifically because it's the hardest one. And believe it or not, there's a purpose behind it. This isn't just about dealing with difficult personalities or frustrating family dynamics. There's a deeper reason why you're in this situation. And it has everything to do with your growth, your strength, and your ability to handle the challenges life throws at you. In this video, we're going to explore why God might have chosen you to be the one who handles the hardest family. We'll dive into the lessons He wants you to learn through these struggles and why. If you embrace your family's challenges, you can come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more connected to your faith. It's time to stop seeing your family's challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities for spiritual and personal growth. Keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why you're exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't always feel that way. Imagine this. You're in the middle of a heated argument with a family member, and it feels like the walls are closing in. Emotions are high. Frustrations are bubbling over. And in that moment, you wonder how on earth you ended up here. But what if, instead of this being a random, unfortunate moment, it was exactly where God wanted you to be? The struggles you face within your family aren't just coincidences. They're a chance for you to grow, to refine your character, and to prepare you for something much bigger. Let's think back to some of the most well-known figures in the Bible. Take Joseph, for example. The guy was sold into slavery by his own brothers. Imagine the heartbreak he must have felt, not just losing his freedom, but losing the trust of the people who should have loved him the most. His family didn't just misunderstand him, they betrayed him. But it was through these trials that God prepared him for something extraordinary. Joseph didn't just survive his family's rejection, he thrived, eventually rising to a position of power that allowed him to save his entire family and many others from famine. Then there's Job. Job didn't just have a tough family, he lost everything: his wealth, his health, and the respect of his peers. But God didn't abandon him. Instead, Job's trials became a deep source of spiritual growth. Through his suffering, Job learned what it meant to trust God, even when life didn't make sense. In the end, he was blessed far more than he could have ever imagined. But it was the hard journey that made him who he was. And let's not forget about Mary, the mother of Jesus. She didn't just face criticism and rejection from outsiders. She had to navigate the complex and often difficult dynamics of raising the Son of God in a world that didn't understand her. The challenges Mary faced in her family were beyond anything most of us could comprehend. Yet she handled it with grace, strength, and faith. What these figures show us is that God doesn't put us in easy family situations. Instead, He places us in the hardest ones because they offer the biggest opportunities for growth. Each challenge, each struggle, is a chance to learn a deeper lesson about who we are, what we're capable of, and, most importantly, what God has in store for us. Now, I know this may sound difficult to accept when you're in the middle of a family crisis, but the truth is, God is shaping you through these very struggles. The challenges you face aren't just there to cause pain, they're there to refine you, like gold being purified in a fire. Every argument, every misunderstanding, every painful moment is a chance for you to develop patience, empathy, and a deeper trust in God's plan for your life. If you're the one in your family who seems to always be the peacemaker, the one who holds everything together, that's not a coincidence. God has chosen you for this role because you have the strength to carry that burden. And it's in carrying that burden that you'll find strength you never knew you had. But it's not just about personal growth. These challenges also shape how we interact with others. They teach us how to love unconditionally, to forgive, and to put others' needs before our own. God uses these family dynamics to prepare us for the bigger tasks He has for us in life. He knows that if we can learn to navigate the challenges within our own families, we'll be ready to take on the challenges the world throws our way. And this isn't just some random lesson for the strong people. God doesn't call the equipped, He equips the called. If you found yourself in a tough family situation, it's because God sees something in you that you might not even see in yourself yet. You're stronger than you think. And this family challenge, as painful as it may be right now, is a stepping stone to something greater. I know, right now, you might be feeling completely drained. You've probably had your fair share of arguments, misunderstandings, and moments where you felt like you just couldn't take it anymore. It's easy to get frustrated when things feel like they're never going to change, when you're constantly the one who has to keep things together. You might feel isolated, like you're the only one who cares, the only one who is trying to make it work. And every time you step up, it feels like you're hitting a wall. You might be asking yourself, why is this happening to me? Why is my family so difficult? What did I do to deserve this? This is the moment when doubt starts to creep in. The emotional weight can be unbearable, and sometimes it feels like God has forgotten about you, like you're stuck with a family that's just too much to handle. But here's the thing, you're not alone in this. This feeling of frustration, of being stuck in a family that feels impossible, is part of the challenge. But it's also where your story gets interesting. It's where you start to see the purpose behind your struggle. You see, the hardest families often produce the strongest individuals. Think about it. When everything in life is smooth, there's no real growth. You don't push yourself when life is easy, but when things get hard, when everything you've known is tested, that's when you begin to grow. That's when you learn to lean on God, to trust Him in ways you never thought possible. And it's in these moments of frustration that God works in you the most. But in order to get through this, you have to recognize something very important. The struggle you're facing isn't a punishment. It's an opportunity to become who God created you to be. Sure, it might not feel like it right now, but trust me, every tear you shed, every tough conversation you have, is shaping you. You're being refined in ways that aren't immediately visible, but they are real. And when the time comes, you'll look back and realize that you were never just surviving these moments. You were thriving, whether you saw it or not. It's easy to look at your family and feel like the burden is too heavy, but that weight is preparing you to carry much greater things in the future. And if you let it, your family's struggles will equip you to lead, to love deeper, and to understand others in ways you never could before. The very things that feel like obstacles right now are the tools God is using to build you into the person He wants you to be. Your family's chaos. It's a divine training ground. But none of this will make sense unless you're willing to embrace the pain. You can't just go through the motions. You have to choose to see your family's struggles as opportunities to grow, not just as problems to solve. This is where faith comes in. God isn't asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to trust Him and keep moving forward, even when it seems impossible. So, if you're feeling like you're at your breaking point, like your family is too much to handle, know that it's okay to feel overwhelmed. But also know that this challenge isn't going to last forever. God has a plan for you, and He is using your family to shape you into the person you were always meant to become. It's easy to get lost in the frustration and forget why you're in this situation in the first place. And every tough moment with family, every broken conversation, every disagreement might make you want to walk away, give up, or distance yourself. But here's the truth. God places us in these difficult situations, not because He wants us to suffer, but because He's trying to teach us something profound about ourselves and about the world. You might feel like you're fighting an endless battle, but the reality is, you're being prepared for something bigger. The emotional resilience you're building now is shaping your ability to lead, to guide, to bring peace into chaos, and to be a source of strength when others are struggling. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going your way. It's easy to let the weight of family tension consume you. But God doesn't want you to focus on the short-term struggle. He's looking at the long game. He's preparing you for a life that requires more strength, more patience, and more love than you could ever imagine. Think about it. If you didn't have the tough family dynamics you're dealing with now, how would you learn the power of forgiveness, of patience, of unconditional love? These aren't just abstract concepts that sound good in a sermon. They're the very qualities that God wants to develop in you. And it's only through hardship that these qualities can be fully formed. Every difficult conversation, every time you choose to stay calm when things get heated, every time you make the choice to forgive instead of hold a grudge, you're becoming the person God intends for you to be, and you're learning how to handle things on a deeper level. Family dynamics may seem chaotic now, but they are shaping your spiritual maturity, helping you navigate the complexities of relationships with love and grace. Think of the people in the Bible who went through hardship. They didn't have it easy. They didn't get there happily ever after without the struggles, but each one was molded and prepared by God for something greater than themselves. Job had to lose everything to gain even more. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into slavery, and imprisoned before he was able to rise to power and help save his family. These weren't just random misfortunes. They were essential parts of God's plan. This is where the real transformation happens. When we lean into the challenge, when we choose to embrace the difficulty instead of running from it, we become something stronger. We can't always see it in the moment, but trust that God is working in the background, weaving a plan that will make sense in the future. The hard moments with your family are not meaningless. They are the exact moments that will build the foundation for your future. And once you look back, you'll see how all the pieces fit together in a way you could never have imagined. So, even when it feels like you're stuck, or like you're not making progress, remember that every step is a part of God's design for you. You're not just surviving, you're learning, growing, and transforming into someone who can handle even greater challenges ahead. Your family isn't an obstacle. It's your training ground. And you are exactly where you need to be to become the person God has called you to be. This is the moment when everything starts to make sense. The struggles you've been dealing with in your family, those moments of feeling alone, misunderstood, or overburdened, they weren't for nothing. In fact, they were part of a much bigger picture. You've been chosen for these challenges, not because you're weak, but because you have the strength to endure and thrive through them. And when you realize this, it shifts everything. God doesn't waste any moment in our lives. What you thought was just another fight, another miscommunication, another broken moment with a family member is actually the very thing that's shaping you into someone who can face even greater obstacles in the future. These challenges are not just random. They are a divine design to make you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's ahead. Your family's struggles are molding you into the person who can handle the weight of leadership, responsibility, and love on a much larger scale. You might not see it now, but this moment of growth is setting the stage for something amazing in your life. Think about it. Every time you show up in the midst of family chaos, every time you choose to show up with love and patience, you're preparing yourself for the real calling that God has for you. It's easy to feel like you're wasting your time or that this struggle isn't leading anywhere. But the truth is, you are becoming the person God needs you to be. You're being built for something far bigger than you can imagine right now. This realization, this understanding, is the turning point. This is when you can look at the situation differently. Instead of seeing your family as a source of frustration, you can start to see it as a place of transformation. The tension, the conflict, the misunderstanding, it's all part of a process that will refine you, make you more compassionate, more understanding, and more capable of making a difference in the world around you. And here's the key. When you begin to understand this, you'll start to see a shift in how you approach your family. Instead of reacting with anger, frustration, or resentment, you'll begin to meet every challenge with grace, knowing that each tough moment is another opportunity for growth. The most difficult people in your life might just be the ones who are teaching you the most about love, forgiveness, and perseverance. And when you can look at them through this lens, you'll start to see your family as a place of learning, not just a source of pain. The hard moments will still come, but they won't knock you down like they used to. You'll be able to stand firm because you know that God has been preparing you for this very moment. You'll be able to love unconditionally, forgive freely, and lead with strength because you've been through the fire and come out stronger. Every tough moment is a step toward becoming the person God knows you can be, the person He's always seen in you, even when you couldn't see it yourself. And this isn't just about enduring. It's about thriving. It's about becoming someone who can look at a difficult family situation and not only handle it, but bring peace to it. It's about understanding that the hard things in life are the things that make us who we are. Your family is not holding you back. It's preparing you for greatness. Your strength, your patience, your ability to love beyond measure. It all starts right here, right now. The hard family you've been given is the very thing that will make you into the person God always knew you were meant to be. Now that you've seen the bigger picture, let's take a moment to reflect on how this all comes together. The truth is, the hardest family dynamics are shaping you in ways you might not have fully understood until now. Every challenge, every argument, every tough day you've had is creating something beautiful and powerful within you. It's not easy to see in the moment, but over time, the lessons you're learning will become clear. The pain, the frustration, the struggles, they're all tools in God's hands, shaping you for a future you can't yet imagine. It's easy to want to escape these difficult family dynamics. We all have moments when we want to walk away, to shut off the noise, or even distance ourselves from the drama. But God doesn't call us to run away from our problems. He calls us to face them head-on, with love and faith. And when we do that, we begin to see that these tough situations aren't just obstacles. They're the very things that prepare us to lead, to guide, and to heal. They teach us what it means to love unconditionally, to forgive without hesitation, and to serve others even when it's difficult. When you look back on this chapter of your life, you'll see how these struggles were the foundation of something much greater. Your patience, your understanding, and your faith were built here, in the hardest moments with your family. And just like Joseph, Job, and Mary, you too will find that God was with you every step of the way, preparing you for something bigger. The challenges you face today will one day become the testimonies of God's faithfulness in your life. So, if you're in the midst of a tough family situation right now, take heart. You are exactly where you need to be. Your family's struggles aren't a punishment. They're a divine opportunity. They are the training ground for your future. And as hard as it may seem in the moment, God is working through every difficulty, preparing you to be the person He's always known you could be. The road might be tough, but it's leading you to something beautiful. And when you finally reach that place, you'll realize that every step was worth it. Embrace your family's challenges. Trust the process. Because in the end, God's plan for your life is bigger than anything you can see right now. He chose you for this moment. And that, my friend, is the most powerful thing you can hold on to. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't miss our next video on how to find peace in the middle of family chaos. It's time to take the next step in your journey.